May 5th video of the system high up in the sky. And this is unedited. This is the actual MP4 video here. I want to show you everything's classic, system classic. Okay, all the movement the system makes, the very abbreviated marks, the gestures that it details itself is every bit here. It's beautiful. And as you can see, as we start to pan from the east into the north, we can see this beautiful arm. Beautiful. And again, this is unedited. It's very bright. So as we see this, you really have to delve into certain areas, as I've said before, to see the system objects and what they are doing. Okay, it's completely amazing. So we are continuing to pan up to the north, and we have, thousands of things that are taking place around this major debris arm. But what I want to do is I want to go ahead and manipulate the color a little bit, as we do so often, and I want to show you the detail of the system. It's just incredible. Okay, but we darken it out just enough to be able to see the shadows and the color and exactly the form of the system and what it's doing. Zoom out just a bit, and we start to get a side angle of this here. Okay, I want to show you that this object comes out of the east and is coming towards the west. Okay, due west from the east, high up in the sky. It literally comes out of the east going west, stops here in this area, folds back up towards the north, and bends back down towards the west again, as you can see here. I want to give you that idea. As it's coming out of the east, headed west, it bends, it takes a turn, and it bends up towards the north and back down towards the west. So clearly there are objects that it is interacting with that we cannot see as we continue, and this is normal. Okay, this is the abrasive left and right patterns that we get with the system. So again, as we continue throughout the day to watch the system go across the sky, again, this video is the latter part of May 5th, 2017. And we start off with this debris arm, beautiful debris arm that is pushing itself out from the south. Now as we continue with the video, I want you right away to know that this is the debris arm for the left side of a debris hold, because this is the right side of it. Okay, I want you to think of this as a large bowl. As I darken this out, as this comes out of the south, it's very, very dramatic. This object, very large, I have watched for the last 5 years. Okay, when I first saw it, it was roughly in the same area, but it was very small, very small. 1 or 2 lines maybe. But as I darken this out, we can see levels of this. We can see the elegant divide between each story that I talk about. We can see the knitting that I've spoke about since the very beginning, the crisscrossing of objects. You can see them within the shadows if you look. The back and forth weaving of objects, and at times creating the beautiful stairway look as we see here. Look at the beautiful, beautiful smooth debris arms. And again, the scroll ability that the system draws, beautiful. We can start to see these objects pushing themselves off at an angle. This is how it is. These, from this area to this area, it's angled here. These objects are coming down at an angle. We can see the separation here, folks. It's all how you look at it. We can see a very subtle drop here. Very subtle here in this area. It's subtle, you can see it. We move right next door, we can see the same thing. This level here is, again, a story of debris. Okay, this is a deep object that has made interaction to split this area. But we see that this comes straight down as well. We can most definitely see this. Shades into the light. It's beautiful, but we'll continue. And as we watch this, we have the separation of lighting. It's very dramatic. We have the push off. So as we continue to watch it, we'll move towards the back, and again we have the weaving we can start to see within this area. The objects that are now coming over this main arm that's going out, stretching out. Alright, and these are the rows. This is the front row, this is the back row. This is how we look at these. And all of the things that are in these, and the weaving, the back and forth. I mean, look at each section. They're pushing themselves out. It's amazing by the billions. It's amazing, guys. When we darken it enough out, we can see the other side of this turn to complete this beautiful vortex of objects. It's incredible. It just makes me speechless how large it is now and how very dramatic, guys. And I keep saying that word, very dramatic, because it is. It's very dramatic. As we continue to watch, it's amazing to complete its bend in the shadow here with the light that we have on the camera. Since we have taken the color out, we can see so much more, folks. It's beautiful. We can see the bleacher ability, the football stadium vortexual pattern here. We can see it complete right here in this area. Seeing this arm, beautiful arm, coming still out of the southwest, going over towards the east, and this huge rotation becomes more clear as we can see as we continue on throughout the evening. We can start to see each shelf, the left and the right, the weaving pattern, and it's very sophisticated here. We can see the runoff of objects coming over this massive shelf and the continuation here of these. Remember the weaving, always. It's so vitally important. This lets you have that feel of what you're looking at, the completion of what we see, the runoff of these objects coming off of the edge, and the shadows of the complete shadow, the divide from this area and this area of all these objects, doing the same thing as all these lit objects, but you can see the divide within its placement. It's beautiful. As we come off into the west, it's important that you see this moon, and you will start to see this moon with its debris going around it. You see this debris coming down and makes that picture perfect turn. That is because it is going over this moon, and I'll show you. We're going to go ahead and continue to play this, but I want you to watch this area with this debris and continue to watch this moon as I show you this as well. It's very spooky, folks. This is, I believe, the main part of the system, and this is how it looks now. And this is very, remember, I've changed the coloration, so we were able to see all of this and how very large and dramatic it is. Okay, this is the chemtrail that went by, the famous one. Okay, now this is that fold ability. Okay, we can see it, the shadow colors, a ribbon turn, a slight bend in its turn. And this again holds a planet. That's why you have this slight crease I'm showing you with the mouse right here. Okay, and this is exactly where the chem plane is. And it's spooky, because then you start to look up and realize, wow, look how large it is. I mean, just how incredible it is, and how focused it's starting to look and come into play. And this is no zooming whatsoever. Okay, this is just with the camera looking up. This is what we're seeing. Now as we continue, we still have the debris that turns picture perfect over this moon. We have this debris with this moon. You can start to see the gray moon here. Okay, it's very shadowy. Plays with this shadow as well. You have to start seeing it right here. It's coming into play. You can see the top edge right there. This one, there's no doubt about it. It's right here. Okay, now I'm going to change the color to regular, and this is what we see. Again, this is how we see it. Very bright. Naturally, if we were looking at this, we would not see this picture perfect turn, and we would not see this moon, and nor would we see this moon coming into play. It'd be very, very bright. And we naturally do not look up and see all of this activity, as I'll show you here. We do not naturally look up as we are now, as we did before in the dark, and we saw all the beautiful walls, that the structure of the system. We don't see that here. We barely see anything, and it's very, very light, very bright. Okay, now imagine when it's real, real bright. We're really seeing the wall, because this system's very bright, folks. When the sun hits it right, it makes it very, very bright to our eyes. And again, we are still observing this moon and this moon as well. But as I showed you just now, the larger objects, they're here. These are just very minutely small ones that are visible. So again, as I continue showing you this arm coming out of the south, going east, you can see how much progress it has made towards the moon, and you can see what it would naturally look like to you as you looked up into the sky. You could barely see these shelves on the other side, but you still can start to make them out. And this is again unedited. You can still see the picture perfect turn here. Perfect. Picture perfect. And it's so vitally important you understand that concept of picture perfect. It creates the scroll. Now this is what we see. This is what we naturally see now, as of the 5th of May. I mean, this is incredible, guys. But what we see when we darken it out is just mind-blowing. I mean, it's incredible. Look at, you can start to see them all the way through in each story, and how each level and each part of an object has its own influence. Look at all of this. And remember the 3D aspect, folks. We're looking at the sides of these. Remember that. Okay, you can clearly see that we're looking at the top right here. We're looking down at this as it's going by. Okay. So again, as we're panning back towards the west, we can see this deep shadow. Very, very, very deep shadow. And we can still make out all the objects here. The wall, folks. It's the wall, and I showed you a year ago what the wall looked like, and it was, you know, we were zooming up into it. Now we're not. We're not zooming at all, guys. Now again, here's our moon. We've darkened it out. We still have, there's my thumb, we still have the objects picture perfect going around that moon. Here. You can see it. Plain. Okay? Now this is a bit dark, but I will show you again. These moons are very small, coming down off of this turn here on top of this moon. But there are other objects. You can see one here. You can see multiple of the light source from objects that are interacting with it. I mean, it's incredible. It is incredible. We can make out the connection of the objects connecting to the sides of it. And again, as we continue, we will see other objects that will make themselves known, and that will move alongside the larger ones. When we do here, we can see a light source in the corner here, and a bit here with the interaction. It's incredible, but know that there are larger objects. There's one here. And it is incredible. We continue to look as it furthers itself by and heads towards the east of how sophisticated it's becoming. Look at the dark objects, I mean, all the way into the light, and the, again, knitting ability